Hello, YouTube fans. This is Dr. Matthew Johnson and
Cynthia Kreitzberg.
we're coming to you from the Greenbelt in the woods behind our house. We just drove back from Wenatchee, Washington, where Cynthia did an awesome job yesterday at presenting. Presenting what, babe?
I was presenting for a local law enforcement organization on data collection on sex offenders. So, real lively topic.
Yeah, real lively topic, but she did a good job. Anyway, on our way back from Wenatchee, Washington, which is a several-hour drive to get back to Puyallup, Washington, we finally had the opportunity to listen to the Adam Davies, John Carlson interview on Benalt of America, the BOA show. Great job, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Guys did a good job. I thought you were fair. I thought you were gentlemen, and did good. What do you think, babe?
It was an excellent presentation. It's obviously been 15 months since their experiences, but I think they had good memories based on the conversations I had with them during and after the events in June. So yeah, I thought they did a very good job.
Yep. So during the radio program, Adam emphasized on several occasions, as well as John Carlson, that they wanted to present the facts and then offer interpretations or hypotheses. So we just wanted to provide some additional facts for everyone who has listened to the interview, who's aware of our work in the Southern Oregon habituation area, otherwise known as SOA, not Soho. Soho is in New York City, S-O-H-O, that's in New York City. We're talking SOA, S-O-H-A, which is the Southern Oregon habituation area. So anyway, here's some additional facts that we want to offer all of you. And some of you are new, by the way, I'm sorry. Some of you are new to this whole Bigfoot thing, new to SOA, new to this whole portal guardian thing. So
The world as we know it exploding.
yes, yeah. So we want to update you on all that. So we want to provide some facts about the area, which we have accumulated long before Adam and John ever showed up on the scene, and then provide some facts that we have accumulated, gathered as evidence since John and Adam left 15 months ago, and then offer our interpretations, which, by the way, may differ, may agree with John and Adam in some areas and may differ in other areas, but that's okay. So here we go. Fact. I discovered the area 9 years ago only because a friend turned me onto it via tracks that he found by a pond site halfway up a mountain. And he had me come investigate, which I almost blew off, by the way. I almost didn't go. I almost didn't check out those tracks. And if I
Be in a
didn't,
different place if you had
yeah,
not.
and John and Adam wouldn't have had to have done their BOA radio show. So yeah, interesting. This is going to sound weird, but I think I just saw a real quick movement over there, but we'll check that out after we're done shooting this. So anyway, fact. The only aggression in that area ever demonstrated toward me was during my first year there when Daddy growled at me and a couple from England 3 times, about 30 seconds each. Oh. And then they were like, oh, like, we're gonna die. Oh. And I'm like, they're like, what are you gonna do? And I stand up and I say, is that all you got? Get up here on the road. We want to see you. Come out and show yourself. And then you hear a, oh, and then you hear it turn around and walk away. Now it's all in the dark, and we didn't find the tracks until the next morning, where it was standing and where it walked back down the hillside. But it happened. But that was it. That was the only sign of aggression. And now, why did I stand up and do that? Because I already had 6 years of research under my belt, and I already knew after 6 years of research, as close as I've been on some occasions, and others of my friends have been, that then we're going to harm us. And we wake up alive every time we're out there. Have you ever woken up dead yet?
No, and in fact, most of the interactions I've had have been very playful. There's definitely humor and playfulness. I've never felt any sense of foreboding, nerves, or danger.
Okay, so just to make it clear to everybody watching this, you have never been attacked
Never.
in SOA. You've never been abducted.
Never.
You've never woken up dead.
Appears not.
Okay, just checking.
And I sleep like a baby up
And
there.
you sleep like a baby up there. So do I. So those would be facts, important facts that you guys need to know that have happened time and time again for years, long before John and Adam ever showed up on the scene. So I have that experience of the Squatches being around us, right? Being around us and waking up alive every morning, right?
Yes, and
Okay.
recordings where they've obviously walked right into camp while we were sleeping and doing things like leaving rocks and fir needles, pine needles, behind Jill Ligda's head.
Yeah.
And
Taking
didn't
eggs
hurt
out
her.
of the carton
And leaving them elsewhere in the bin, hiding them.
in a bin elsewhere, yes.
And tossing a log right behind our tent to wake us up one morning. They thought we were being slug-a-beds, obviously.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
Not at us, not at the tent.
Oh, no, just enough to wake us up, and then you could hear the feet running away. It was
Right away.
hilarious.
Right, which is how we discovered the Bigfoot superhighway going down the mountainside.
But we digress.
Right, yes, we're digressing. So, but those are facts,
That's
right?
true.
And so that's what we're trying to do is present facts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, by the way, you see us looking around. It's not because we see a Squatch behind every tree. It's because, where is he?
He's way down the hill right now. I'm keeping an eye out on
Zeus, yeah. So she's not looking left and right because we see Squatches everywhere.
Well, that and there was the mosquito, too.
And then the mosquito. So anyway, she's watching for Zeus. So just letting you guys know that. There he is. Where?
Hi,
Oh, got
Zeus.
it.
He's down here.
Ah, there he is. Okay, there's Zeus.
Hi, boy.
Okay, so anyway, that's what we're looking at.
Yes.
The elusive Zeus. Toy Fox Terrier, 7 pounds. Okay, so more facts. We've had a lot of people up there, about 30 plus people over the last 9 years. And by the way, my first 4 years up in SOA, the aggressive paparazzi money shot approach, old schooler approach, the one that most everyone uses, trail cams everywhere, all that kind of stuff. 6 years of doing that elsewhere, so a total of 10 years. But there's a mosquito. The first 4 years in SOA, I love mosquitoes. Get out of here. So the first 4 years up in SOA being aggressive. So then I decided to switch over to the habituation research method, the Kooky method, the Dr. Jane Goodall method of provisional supplements, as some people would like to call it. I call it gifting bowls, same thing, and putting the food out and getting fingerprints off the bowls, right?
Yes, lots of fingerprints.
Lots of fingerprints.
And print off the side of the window on my car. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. Oh, by the way, she doesn't want me to disclose this. Lady K has an NDA with Michael Merchant about disclosing some facts, and Cynthia has an NDA with me as well. But
Yeah,
I can
right.
say that you work for a large law enforcement agency, right?
I do.
Yeah. And you've taken the fingerprints and palm prints to your fingerprint expert at your large law
20
enforcement agency, right?
20 plus years in the fingerprint unit.
Yeah.
Yes.
And?
The fingerprints, he says there's definitely something strange about them. The palm print, he looked at it and he said, that's not human. That is not human. Where did this come from?
And didn't he examine prints at the zoo in Seattle? Primate
Yes,
prints?
he has collected primate prints just for his own.
Hobby?
It's a long story. It's a hobby for him.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And so he said the prints that we provided him weren't human
And we're not primate.
and were not primate.
So
Okay. So evidence, facts that you need to know from the area. So we've collected, sorry, there's Cynthia peeking over the top right there. Oh, it's not my fault she's so short.
I'm not sure.
She's not short, she's 5'8", I'm 6'9". I'm trying to keep her in
In the frame.
in the frame here. Okay, so anyway, We have fingerprints, palm prints, saliva sample, frozen
Yes.
in our freezer,
Yes.
right? So some
Well
people,
labeled.
yeah, well labeled, yes, hasn't been opened since, and collected a couple years ago, right? What happened was I put some peanut M&Ms in the bowl, and apparently a Sasquatch, picked them up, put them in his mouth, and then spit them back out in the bowl, right?
Yeah.
Big puddle of saliva.
Puddle of saliva.
So collected that. It's been sitting in the freezer. So, when some people say, well, habituators, they just want the interactions. They're not collecting evidence. What? Yeah. We're collecting evidence. Foot cast, that's evidence. Fingerprints, handprints, that's evidence. Hair samples, that's evidence. Saliva samples,
That's evidence.
that's evidence. So, yes, we're habituating to get them to come in closer. And we are collecting evidence, contrary to what some people might say about habituators. We are collecting evidence. I'm still waiting for somebody to step up to say, hey, I'll analyze that saliva for you.
Well, yeah, if we win a lottery, we'll have it sent to multiple locations, so we've got independent corroboration of the results.
Yeah, but that costs a whole
And it
truckload
costs
of
more
money.
than we can afford right now.
Yeah, so it's there. I mean, it's there. And someday when we win the lottery or get some funding, we'll have it tested.
Yep.
So we are collecting evidence, contrary to what you hear from others about habituators. Audio recordings, evidence.
Yes.
We have them recorded grunting, okay? But what else do we have them recorded doing, babe?
We've got vocalizations that are definitely language, humming, singing. We've caught a baby crying on more than one occasion. We've got Matt's name whispered more times than I can count.
Matt.
2:30 in the morning, sub-freezing temperatures, and obviously, well, Johnny Manson said it, he thought he heard the voice right at the foot of his cot. A young voice,
Female.
very piping, lilting voice, saying Nipkia.
Nipkia. In a little girl's voice.
And, that was not a human girl
At
at 2:30 in the morning in
22
22-degree weather.
Right.
I'm sorry, that beggar's, no.
Yeah, and need to let you know we did, since that time, find out the interpretation for Nipkia. It means look at the ugly, bald-headed dude sleeping on the cot next to that good-looking Dr. J guy. Now, I know you may think that's a lot to extrapolate from the syllables Nipkia. Trust me, that's what it means, okay? Sorry, Johnny. So, anyway, so we're collecting evidence. We have lots of evidence. And just so you understand the ultimate goal of these habituators right here, the ultimate goal is to foster trust, friendship, and a relationship to get them to come in more, closer and closer and closer. And I predicted a long time ago that they were going to come in at night first, right?
Which they have started to do.
They're starting to
on
do
your
that.
solo trips.
On my solo trips, they're starting to come in. And this last solo trip last week, the brother, the adolescent male, and the young female, Chatty Cathy, came into camp, showed themselves for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and stepped back out. It was in the dark. There was some moonlight, but I saw them. And then the second, third night I was there, Chatty Cathy climbed over the berm at 9 o'clock and sat with their back against the berm inside the perimeter of the base camp, in between some bushes. They weren't real thick bushes, but just sat there for a good hour while I was playing music all around the perimeter. I didn't know she was there, but I wasn't going to get all up in her face.
No, it's all about building trust and
Right.
making them feel safe.
Yeah. So it's starting to happen, ladies and gentlemen. So what's your goal then? My goal is to get them to feel comfortable enough to come into camp and actually take food from us, right? Mm-hmm. And then eventually, through enough safe interactions at nighttime, to feel comfortable to start coming in during the daylight, right? And eventually, and you need to keep in mind, it's taken 5 years of habituating. First 4, right? Old school aggressive, right? Then switched over. They didn't start taking my food until starting my 5th year there, right? 5 years, they didn't take the food. So actually starting year number 6. So they haven't been taking food for 5 years. And when I switched over, the first year was like, oh, let's make sure. And then eventually started taking food. But what's the ultimate goal is to get them to feel comfortable enough to come into camp during the daylight and sit down and try to communicate and take food from our hands, and ultimately to be able to get them to open up their mouth and swab their cheeks. There we go. Okay, and get some DNA while we're filming it, right? Oh, so chain of custody.
They're going to be a little more cooperative than I am, hopefully.
So chain of custody, you'll see it on the video that we're swabbing their cheeks, and there will be no disputing where that DNA was collected from. So you have to have a body. You have to capture them, put them in a cage or a dead body. No, you don't. You just need to take the time and the discipline to build up trust and friendship and eventually get them to come in so you can swab there. It's hard to do this when you're doing the reverse thing like in the mirror thing. And swab the cheeks for the DNA. So we are collecting evidence. We already have evidence, but ultimately that's the goal. Okay? Now.
Sorry, mosquito.
Mosquito.
Got him.
So now let's jump to facts about John and Adam being there and the whole portal thing. Okay.
Well, quite a bit has happened at the portal since that
No,
time.
no, but let's get to what happened since that time after I talk about a couple things that were left out of the radio show. Okay. A couple things that were left out of the radio show is the fact that there were audio recordings, Mr. Bennell. You asked about any kind of evidence, video, pictures, audio. No. Yeah, actually, yeah, audio. And you can find that on SoundCloud.com. Just go to SoundCloud.com, type in Team Squatching USA, and you'll find a plethora of audio that was captured during those 2 nights that Adam and John were talking about. So there was audio evidence of what was going on. Now, why did I sleep? Okay, fact. Okay, why did I sleep? I've said it before on other recordings. I'll say it again because apparently no matter how many times I say it, somebody doesn't hear it. So I'll try it again. I drove 8 hours south. We got up real early in the morning when we left, right, on Monday. We left on Monday. And I drove 8 hours south. And then we did all our stuff on the mountain. And we all went to bed Monday night, Tuesday night. Then this thing happened on Wednesday night and Thursday night with the portal and the Guardians. I was exhausted. Those guys were sleeping in the car when I was driving them around for a couple hours because we went long distances and I was driving while they were sleeping. And they slept both ways, to get there and to get back. So I was tired, very tired. And there's no way on God's green earth I was going to be able to stay up all night, drive all day, stay up all night, drive all day. There's this thing called sleep that I need, right? And do you know that the number one form of torture for Vietnam vets during the war was sleep deprivation?
Yep.
Yeah. Now, I'm telling you, that's the one thing, you capture me and put me through sleep deprivation.
He'll tell you anything. He'll do anything.
I'm giving it all up because I need my sleep. So the bottom line is I can't go without sleep or I'm going to just become a bear. So that's why I slept. I had to sleep. I could not stay awake all night, stay awake all day, stay awake all night, stay awake all day while I'm driving while they get to sleep in the car. So I've said it before. I just said it again. Had to sleep. I was driving. I was being the host. They got to sleep when I was driving them around. I posted pictures of them sleeping in the car while I'm driving around. Evidence is there. That's why I had to sleep. And I had been up there by that point 8 years, right? 8 years. How many times did I wake up dead?
None.
None.
Any more than I did?
How many times was I assaulted?
None.
Kidnapped?
None.
None. Okay, so I had that to draw upon. Adam and John didn't. To be fair to them, they didn't have that to draw upon. I had 8 years of experience to draw upon.
Well, and something that just kind of popped into my head. The other thing is your focus your passion is for the Sasquatch for the forest people.
Right.
And to you, the portal was not as significant as your growing relationship with the Sasquatch and what you were accomplishing there in SOA with the habituation method over the last several years.
Right. And I wanted John and Adam to experience
To
all that, right?
experience that.
Right. And so didn't I tell you, after we all got back and they took off and went their separate ways, didn't I tell you that I was pissed?
Yes, you were very frustrated because it was like I was starting to feel like I had a handle, like a sense of maybe that there was shape taking form.
That I was
And then-
understanding what was going on there. I was finally starting to figure things out, right?
Yeah, that's probably why the portal appeared.
And then the portal appeared.
You had the audacity
like,
to
what
think you were figuring it
What
out.
the hell is that? It's like, I was pissed. It was like, I don't need a portal and these two guardian things. I didn't need that. So,
Yes, you were.
yeah,
You were torqued.
it was, I was thinking about throwing in the towel.
Yes, you seriously talked about it.
Yeah. But I didn't. Obviously, I didn't throw in the towel. So, anyway, I had 8 years of history to draw upon that I woke up alive every morning. And by the way, when we are in camp, we sit our chairs and we face the 12 o'clock position on the perimeter, right?
Right.
And then I work the music from 9 to 10 to 11 to 12, 1, 2, 3, and then back, right, doing the 180.
Right.
Not the 360, but the 180 between 3, 12, 9, 9, 12, and 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So while we're sitting and facing 12, do you remember occasionally seeing lights flash on the trees in front of us at the 12 o'clock position?
And sometimes it would be like a whoop, whoop.
Right.
It was like, well, that's really
That's
weird,
weird.
effect.
Because we didn't hear any cars
No cars.
driving up the road behind us, right?
No
And
place
by,
that light could reflect from.
and by the time we turned around, because the light was already gone, what did we see?
Darkness.
Darkness. We didn't figure it out until after the whole thing happened and Adam and John left that light shining on the trees in front of us was the portal
Coming from
opening
behind us.
and closing. We had no clue.
Well, and that one night, I was singing, turned around, looked back towards the 6, and I saw a rectangle of light appear and then disappear. And the closest analogy or description is if you're in a dark room, somebody opened a blind, one of those roller blinds, let the light in from outside, and then shut the blind again. And that's what it was like. And that was a very, very white light. There was no red. That was just pure white. And came up and then went down again.
Right.
And that would match what we were seeing reflect on the trees.
Right. Right. But we didn't put it together. Sorry.
No.
Until the whole thing with John and Adam. And so bottom line is, why did you go to sleep, Matt, in a situation like that? Once again, I had to sleep. I was the host. I was driving them around. I had to sleep. I couldn't be up 24/7 nonstop. That's not the way my body rolls. Number 2, I had the history to draw upon. I'd never been hurt there, never been attacked. Number 3, was able to put together in my head the whole light thing in front of the trees, and that portal had to have been opening up and closing, and I was in no danger. So I felt comfortable sleeping. And besides, although I encouraged John and Adam to go to bed, maybe if you ignore them, they'll go away. They were like, not going to. Not going to go to bed. So there's a little bit of background information there. Now, as far as, am I leaving out any other facts that I told you about during that time
I don't
with John
think
and
so.
Adam there? I think that pretty much
Covers it.
covers it. And Grady was there the 4th night, and I felt perfectly fine bringing Grady up there, again because of all the history. And Grady's not afraid to go up there, right?
He'll sit in base camp while we go out and get the gift bowls.
Yeah, he'll sit by himself.
Yeah, he has no fear up there.
Right. And he's gone back since that time.
Mm-hmm.
Several times, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he has no fear.
Grady is 8 years old.
So,
No fear. Okay. So,
familiar.
yeah, and familiar, and history to draw upon, and yeah. So now facts, evidence, whatever, since John and Adam were there about 15 months ago.
Right.
Okay. I saw a Squatch walk out of the portal 3 months later in September of 2014.
Correct.
Okay. Saw the portal open up, Squatch out, portal down. Okay. And then it walked over to the 7 o'clock position, and then we all heard it walk 7, 8, 9, 10. We all heard it walk, right, babe?
Yes.
So I saw it come out of the portal. It was like real quick, boom, boom, and we all heard it walk. Okay. Then I tried and tried and tried to reopen that portal for a year. And I thought it was proximity,
Yes.
but proximity didn't open it up.
Nope.
Nope.
It was a little nerve-wracking the first time I walked down there with you, wondering what was going to happen.
Right.
But unfortunately, nothing did, which, you go from being to, oh, darn.
Yeah. Oh, one more, fact while there with John and Adam. I didn't feel any foreboding evil or,
Again, because
ill
of
intent or anything else.
our comfort and our experience up there.
Right. So they may have felt that. I didn't feel that at all. So anyway, back to what's happened. Squatch walked out 3 months later in September. Tried to get it open for a year, couldn't get it open. Then finally in June of this year, 2015, I finally figured it out. The epiphany, the aha moment was to use my group of friends there that were with me in June as guinea pigs. And I informed them, you're going to be guinea pigs for an experiment that you are going to know nothing about until the last day when we're all going home.
Okay.
So, unbeknownst to them, I mean, they knew they were going, but they didn't know why. We all went to the Oregon House of Mystery, the Oregon Vortex. And because that's what John and Adam and I did on that third day, before the third night happened, right? Which was our first night of the portal opening up.
Right.
So I finally, that's what we did. We haven't done that. So I took this group of people and we came back and the portal opened up. But this time it didn't open up to a dimension or world of red sky and dark scraggly vegetation with two guardians. Instead, it opened up to a dimension of light and energy and different colors, but kind of a misty fog. But it wasn't a fog, it wasn't mist, it was actually light that looked like a fog. And wind couldn't blow it. And wind was blowing, but it wasn't moving it. Wind wasn't moving it at all. It was remaining stationary. Why? Because wind can't blow light. Have you ever seen wind blow light?
No.
No.
And I wasn't there on that trip, but I have seen
No.
that happen subsequently.
You were there in July the next month.
Right.
When we did it again. So as far as statements being made, pretty much, I'm not going to say out of ignorance, I'm going to say out of the lack of knowledge, not keeping up to speed. Can't be replicated, not duplicated, blah, blah, blah. It was like, wait a sec, how do you know that? You're not there, you're not talking to me, you don't know that. And so bottom line is, figured out how to open it up in June, witnessed by more people, opened it up, doing the same thing again in July, right?
Yep, you and I.
We went to the House of Mystery and came back and opened it up to the same realm. And then we got it opened again in September. So now a total of 9 people have seen it. 9 people and 1 dog, but Atlas is no longer with us, so he can't testify. But if he were here, he'd be going, but he can't.
You get the point.
Okay, they get the point. Okay. So anyway, 9 human beings saw it and 1 dog who's no longer with us. I love that little guy. And we have replicated it. We do know what it takes to open it up. Don't know, have a whole lot more to
Why?
learn. Yeah, don't know why. But we do know that if we go to the Oregon Vortex, the House of Mystery, some kind of juju, some kind of Tinkerbell fairy dust or something attaches itself to us, right? Energy, whatever. And we bring it back to Soul and it opens up the door. So what we found out on our last trip, by the way, in September, was, does it open up the door to perception?
Right.
Or does it open up the door to anyone and everyone who's there, right? So 3 of us, Mike Kincaid, Jamie Coe, and myself, went to the House of Mystery, got the juju, got the fairy dust, came back to SOA. We met one of our other TSUSA admins. By the way, go to Facebook and go to Team Squatching USA and join our Facebook group. A little plug there, shameless plug. And one of our admins for that group is Shelly Maurer. Okay? And so she met us and came up on the mountain with us. And This is all in the name of science, okay? All in the name of science. So don't judge, don't hate, okay?
Shelley's such a good-natured soul.
She is, and she's tough. She's tough. She's a farm gal, whatever. She's tough. Rides horses and wrestles cows, and probably doesn't wrestle cows, but sounds good. So anyway, we sent her down to the portal by herself. Now keep in mind, she had not gone to the Oregon House of Mystery. No juju, no Tinkerbell fairy dust, no magic, no energy. Sent her down. She spent a good 15 minutes down there, came back, nothing happened. So we told her, you wait in camp, now the three of us are going down. We opened it up.
So they leave her alone in camp.
We left her alone in camp, right? Poor Shelley. So, and by the way, while we were down there, she had Squatch activity around the camp. They were whacking trees and making noises and talking, and so she was getting quite the experience all by herself. So we opened it up. All of a sudden, this realm of light and energy and this mist, which again is not actually mist, it's a light that looks like a fog. And the fog would go like up to 10 to 12 feet off the ground and just spread everywhere and stay stationary while these other lights are moving and popping and stuff. And so then we call Shelley down, and it was Zeus. Anyway, we called Shelley down, and because we wanted to test, does it unlock the key to perception, or does it unlock the door for everyone to see? Because if it only unlocks the key to perception, the key unlocks perception to see the portal, because we went to the Oregon House of Mystery and Shelley didn't, then only us three guys should see it, and she shouldn't be able to see it.
Correct.
On the other hand, if she can come back down and see what we're seeing, then it's not unlocking perception. It's actually unlocking the door.
Right.
Shelley could see everything we were seeing. So we learned that much. Going to the Oregon House of Mystery, the Oregon Vortex, has nothing to do with perception. It has to do with unlocking the door. And we've replicated that 3 months this year. And we're going to go back and do it again soon. And replicate it, I'm confident, a fourth time. One of the other things we did, because we have a lot to learn, is we went swimming in a river. Because number one, it was hot out. So probably the last hot day of this year. So we went to cool off in a river. And then I thought, I wonder if that's gonna, change things. Because all those other times we never went swimming to wash stuff off. And so we
Kept the effect multiple nights.
kept the effect multiple nights of opening it back up, not just